Hallelujah, Yahweh. Praise YAHWEH. In the name of the Son, YAHWEH, Bet Nun Sofit, YAHWEH. Selah. Welcome to Black Gods of Yahweh Media. So, we have another video as it pertains to Donald Trump. And in this particular video, we're going to go through a little bit of evidence outside of recent history only. And what people tend to do is they say Trump is not a racist, and the media labels him as one because they're really lazy in their research. Because Trump and his anti-blackness extends well beyond recent history. Now, what you're looking at on the screen to the left is Candace Owens. Candace Owens is one of a many group and plethora of black politicians or black personalities who are anti-black Judah. Just think about that. Many of the black supporters of Trump are anti-black, and they make excuses for the extermination of black people at the hands of police brutality. I'm not going to really get into the spat between Candace Owens and Cardi B. I mean, that's not really necessary. I don't support the Democratic Party, but I actually have to side with Cardi B in this situation because she's speaking out against the extermination of Yahweh's chosen people. That's very critical. I mean, you have to give credit where credit is due. You don't make up excuses for non-credit and then call those people pro-black and pro-Yahweh. You really can't do that, but I have people that actually do that. So what we're going to do, we're going to continue on. So here is activist, if that's what you want to call her, Candace Owens. And she talks about how George Floyd was not a good person. The life and career of Candace Owens, the black conservative activist who attacked Black Lives Matter. Now, we know Black Lives Matter has been co-opted by the LGBTQIA movement. But this particular article and video is talking about Candace Owens being continuously anti-black. So, when she talk about George Floyd is not a good person, that's making excuses for the murder of our people. That's white supremacist talk. She has also gained a fan in President Trump. Now, recently, she was not invited to a Democratic convention because many of the black pastors, and that's another group that support Trump, told her it's starting to make you look bad and you're losing black votes, because that's what it's about. If it wasn't for that, Trump would still have Candace Owens at his side. So moving right along. So here in this particular article in the New York Times, Trump was asked about black Americans killed by police. Now I'm going to go through the important parts and you can go back and pull up these articles and do this research. And Trump says, so are white people. I mean, obviously, that's another very simple and very ignorant and condescending response by white supremacists. So we're going to go down. So somebody asks, a reporter, why are African Americans still dying at the hands of law enforcement in this country? The interviewer, Catherine Herridge of CBS News, asked the president. He said, what a terrible question to ask. Yeah, it's terrible that somebody wants to know what you're actually doing about black Judah being murdered in the streets. Wholesale. So are white people. More white people, by the way. So this is their argument that they use. They always say, well, white people are killed by police too. So if you take the number of white people and you take the number of black people, if the numbers are even close, that would mean that the smaller group of people are being killed and targeted more than the larger group of people. That's like if I was at a car selling auction and you had 400 Hispanics who bought 20 cars, and you had 40 black people who bought 20 cars. What's the largest percentage of people who bought cars? That would be the group of people at the number 20 buying the same amount of cars than a group of people of 400. You guys get the point. So that's the argument that they make. So Donald Trump, decades-old housing discrimination cases plagues Donald Trump. So this is NPR.org, and you can look at this article. Like I said, I go to the important parts of the article. You can pull them up. So I'm going to go down and talk about the particulars. So in this particular case, a black man in search of an apartment in Brooklyn in 1972 saw a sign on a building. You don't get a pass because it's 1972, so get that out of your head. Apartment for rent. He met with a superintendent, and the superintendent said, "I'm very sorry, but the apartment is rented. It's gone." Moore said. So the gentleman said to him, "Well, why is the sign out?" Meaning you're promoting the place for rent. "I still see that it says the apartment is for rent." And the superintendent said, "Oh, I guess I forgot to take it down." And I'm going to skip down. Moore said she reported her experience to the Human Rights Commission. And if you continue to read through and you move down again, he said, "Well, I'm only doing what my boss told me to do. I was not allowed to rent to black tenants." So basically, when you put a little pressure on the people who worked for Trump then, they just came out and said, Trump say, don't vote to black people. All right. So like I said, you can check these articles out. It's not that hard. And the reason why I'm exposing this, you're going to get it at the end of the video. So here we have another article from Forbes. Donald Trump criticizes players' protest appears to have little impact on NFL and NBA ratings. So what he's saying is that the protest, and when black athletes speak out about the killing wholesale of the so-called black man, African-American woman, whatever you want to call, Black Judah, the children of Israel, then he always has something negative to say. If you notice that every time a black player comes out and makes a statement, he has something negative to say about them. So if he is against, and I've made several videos on this, if he is against Yahweh's chosen people, he can't be working for Yahweh. This is elementary stuff. So we're going to go down through the article of Forbes. And I'm going to tell you something, because if you notice, it's a common theme here. During a radio appearance Tuesday on Clay Travis's radio show, which aired on Fox Sports Radio, Trump lambasted outspoken NBA players in vitriolic terms, calling them very, very nasty and, frankly, very dumb. Now, catch this. This is white supremacist talk, always referring to Black Judah as dumb. And it's a continuation of this that I'm going to show you throughout the video. Trump says the player's social activist is destroying the league. That's not really true. It's been horrible for basketball. Look at the basketball ratings. That has everything to do with the coronavirus plague. It's been horrible for basketball. They have enough politics with guys like me. They don't need more. There was a nastiness about the NBA and the way it was done. The NBA is in trouble, big trouble. So, Trump kind of reminds me of Arnold Schwarzenegger. He has those very simple, uneducated one-liners that pretty much everybody can get behind, these cliches. So once again, every single time a black NFL NBA player speaks out against police brutality against their people. He says something. Now, we are taught as citizens of YAHWEH that we are not to protest to the enemy about our suffering. We are to go to YAHWEH. That is correct. However, these black players are speaking out in the way that they know how. Because remember, they're not within the knowledge of Yahweh. So, all right, we went through that article. So, there's another article in which, okay, I'm going to get to it now. Okay. Now, this is Michael Cohen's tell-all book. And a new tell-all claims Trump refers to black world leaders with racist insults. And you can go to Media Night and check out these articles. Forbes, once again, this is also from Cohen's tell-all book. Trump said Hispanics and black people were too stupid to vote for him. Now, if you remember what he said about the black NBA players, they were dumb. And in this case, they're stupid. See, this is how you can tell that this man has credibility, because the stuff that comes out of Trump's mouth is very similar to what whistleblowers are saying. See, a common theme. Black Judah is stupid. Black Judah is dumb. And we just have to be real about this. When you are a Nation of Yahweh member and you are aligning yourself with Trump and black political figures who are anti-black, then you can't disassociate yourself from that. You become what they are. It's the company you keep. Now, I've heard people say that certain members from the Nation of Yahweh is trying to get Trump to come out and clear the name of Yahweh ben Yahweh by being subservient to him. That doesn't make any sense. The one thing I remember that Yahweh ben Yahweh said on many of his famous speeches and teachings and preachings, when he was asked, interviewed by the U.S. government, and they say, hey, I hear that you are a genius. He said, no. I am the genius, because none of y'all brains can come up to mine. So that's talk from a leader, a man, the son of Yahweh, who is not subservient to his enemies to get something out of them. So if you have Nation of Yahweh members who are being nice to Trump so Trump can clear the name of Yahweh ben Yahweh, you're going about it wrong. He should have already did that. He's pretty much late in that. But that's not really what it is, in my opinion. It's political pandering. And the reason why I make these videos is because I don't want people coming into this knowledge thinking that you have to be a Trump supporter in order to love Yahweh. I don't want the people who are blindly following a white supremacist to taint the minds of the youth and those that are just coming into this knowledge. So that's what I'm here for. Because you get into the crabs in the barrel mentality, in which you see someone who walked with Yahweh ben Yahweh and you start following what he's doing instead of following the teaching and preachings of Yahweh ben Yahweh. That's the problem. So once again, like I said, I'm going to stay on Trump's head. And don't come talking about you spreading division. My number is 785-224-9344. Every time a member from my nation calls me and speaks to me, by the end of the conversation, we have a better understanding of each other. I'm always open to that. A negative person comes against someone, and when you try to reach out to that person, they hide. I don't hide.